All right, the Georgia Bulldogs with another epic come-from-behind victory, this time over number 5 Ole Miss. Final score 43-35. It was a tremendous day for Gunnar Stockton and the Georgia Bulldog offense. They scored on every possession they had in this football game. Defensively, that's another issue. They gave up touchdowns on 5 consecutive Ole Miss drives to start this game. It was a real shootout here in Athens, but at the end of the day, it was Georgia's offense that got it done. They played at a really high level. Again, Gunnar Stockton was terrific. We're going to go over the numbers. He had 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to Lawson Lucky. He had another touchdown on the ground. He wasn't perfect. He's still leaving some receivers out there that are open. He's just not seeing them, but he was outstanding today. I definitely think he probably needs to be in the Heisman Trophy conversation after the day he had against a number 5 team in Ole Miss, who played really hard. And Lane Kiffin brought that offense in here, and they were absolutely rolling. Georgia gave up touchdowns on every Ole Miss drive for the first 3 quarters of this game. They didn't get their first stop until the fourth quarter, but after giving up 5 straight touchdowns, they got 3 big fourth quarter stops that gave the offense a chance to not only take the lead, but secure the victory, and that's what they did today. Gunnar Stockton made some big-time throws. They got the running game going a little bit. Actually, let's look at the numbers now. Georgia had 221 yards rushing, so I don't know what I had in my head. Nate Frazier, really nice game, 72 yards. Chauncey Bowen, 61 yards. Gunnar Stockton, 59 and a touchdown. Dylan Bell, was there in the run game. He had 19 yards. Josh McCray had 2 tough runs. He ended up with 13 yards. Just a really, really efficient day. Gunnar Stockton, 26 for 31, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. We're going to talk more about the offense because they really saved the day, but let's talk about the elephant in the room right now, and that's this Georgia defense. They got off to another slow start. Again, giving up touchdown, and things were not looking great. It was a 35-24 game in the second half. Ole Miss was up 9. Georgia's defense could not get stops to save their life. But they found a way to get the job done in the fourth quarter. Georgia is a fourth quarter team. Ole Miss played really, really good football for 3 quarters, but it was the final quarter where Georgia won. They got the stops defensively. Ole Miss could not. Gunnar Stockton made the big throws, made the big runs. Mike Bobo was outstanding calling this game. Let's go to the total yards. Georgia had 510 total yards, 221 on the ground compared to Ole Miss at 88. And again, I think you have to tip your hat to the quarterback, Trinidad Chambliss. Inexperienced. He came into a hostile environment and had no problem marching up and down the field. I don't know what kind of defense they were playing in the secondary, but they were just giving Ole Miss receivers 10 yards of space, and they made it easy for Ole Miss a little bit. I mean, the Rebels were just carving them up, slicing and dicing them. Trinidad Chambliss made some big plays with his legs. We knew he had that ability, making guys miss. He made Chris Cole miss, who looked like he had a sack. Then he outran Raylan Wilson to the corner of the end zone. They got up 7-3 and kind of just kept scoring, and Georgia's offense kept answering. They answered after every Ole Miss touchdown. The offense didn't flinch, and the defense didn't give up. That's what happened. The offense said, okay, you gave up another score. We're going to get that right back. And that's exactly what they did. So let's look at Georgia's drives. They went field goal to start the game. Looked like they could have found their way in the end zone, but there was a pass interference call on Noah Thomas that killed the drive. They settled for a field goal. Ole Miss goes up 7-3, and then they scored 4 more touchdowns. And again, they got up to a 9-point lead. Things weren't looking great. You knew Georgia had to get a stop defensively, and they got 3 straight in the fourth quarter. Punt, turnover on downs to end the game for Ole Miss. It's crazy. They only had 8 possessions. They scored 5 touchdowns, and they got stopped 3 times. But Georgia went field goal, touchdown, field goal, touchdown, field goal to end the game. That's how you do it. 9 total drives. They scored on every one, except, I guess, the kneel down. 4 drives of 10-plus plays. They were great. This is about as well as they have played offensively in quite a long time. You could go back to the Tennessee game too, but this team fights, and they fought through more adversity today. Another slow start, at least defensively. They were losing at the half. I mean, nothing's easy with this team. They can never find a way to get both the offense and defense really clicking at the same time. I guess you could say they did it in the second half of the Auburn game when they both kind of bowed up and started playing really well. But this is a really hard fought, and again, come from behind victory. A lot of teams may have quit when they can't get any type of stops defensively. They get down 9. It felt like the offense at some point was going to have to punt. They never did. They kept fighting and they kept scoring, and they outscored Ole Miss. They got into a shootout and Georgia won. But again, that's an Ole Miss team that came ready. They came prepared. Georgia has too much talent. Now, we'll go back to the defense here. They have way too much talent on this defense to give up 5 consecutive touchdowns and put the offense in that big of a hole. Thankfully for them, the offense just kept answering every drive, and they never got down double digits. They could have if the offense didn't play extremely well, but defensively, they've got to make some changes. I know the quarterback played really well. I know some of the receivers played, they balled out. They had some really nice catches down the sideline. They played well offensively, but you look at Georgia's defense, there's 5 stars all over the place. They should not look as bad as they do many times, and today they looked awful for 3 straight quarters. And again, they didn't get their first stop until the 4th quarter. It was a big one. They needed it. Georgia scored. They got another stop and gave Georgia the ability, like last week at Auburn, to kill some clock and end the game. I think there was about 6.5 minutes left in the game. They've got the ball on their own 10-yard line. And you need first downs. You don't necessarily have to score, but you need first downs. You got to kill that clock. And they managed to get into field goal range. And I think they kicked a field goal to go up 8 with a little more than 2 minutes to go. So it was a great drive. The defense got that final stop that they needed. And they came out victorious in a game that it looked they could have lost this game, especially when you're down 9 and playing as poorly as they were on defense. But they kept fighting, and the offense, Gunnar Stockton in particular, saved the day. But they got the tight ends involved. Lawson Lucky, let's go back. He had 3 touchdowns. Let's go to the numbers. Receiving, Zachariah Branch had 8 catches for 71 yards. He continues to be a weapon. That's on 8 targets. He was 8 for 8. 8 catches on 8 targets for 71 yards. Lawson Lucky had 5 catches for 43 yards and 3 touchdowns. Oscar Delp had 4 catches for 42 yards. Dylan Bell had a crazy catch down the sideline. I think that was on that big final drive where they couldn't run it anymore. I think they had a 1-yard loss. They needed to put the ball in the air. And if I'm remembering it correctly, it was that drive where he threw a beautiful ball down to Dylan Bell, who makes a great catch. He has really come up big. But Gunnar Stockton just under 300 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. As a team, they rushed for 221 and 1 touchdown. And again, you saw more of the fight that this team has. They may not win a national championship, because I'm not sure they can with this defense the way it is right now. But they've got championship DNA running through this program. And again, they do not flinch. The offense did not flinch, and the defense never gave up. And that's probably the biggest takeaway that I have. The defense kept fighting, and the offense said, you know what? Just like in Knoxville, put this game on our back. We will continue to fight and put up points and make plays when it matters. And the defense got the stops when it mattered the most. Ole Miss's defense could not do it. But this was an impressive win. And again, you had undefeated Ole Miss coming in here. Ole Miss did not need to win this game. Georgia did. Ole Miss was in a position where they wanted to win. Georgia needed to win. And they got down and they kept fighting. And Gunnar Stockton, again, was terrific. That is as good as you could ask for him. It wasn't perfect. And again, there were some open receivers that he could have hit. But again, they scored every drive they had. So it's really hard to complain, because on the passes where he missed an open receiver that could have been a big play, they went on to score a touchdown, most likely. But the players made the plays on offense for sure. And defensively, they stepped up when they had to. It was not great at all for 3 quarters, but the final 3 drives that the Ole Miss offense had, Georgia stopped them, and that was key to the game. But this was a massive win. It was a beautiful night. Ole Miss came in here well prepared. Again, that quarterback was making some big throws. He was off on throws down the field, but he made plays with his legs, with his arm. I thought they played well. They didn't come in here and give it their B effort. They came in here looking to win, and they were in a position to. But Georgia won the 4th quarter, and their offense was better than Ole Miss's, and defensively, they were able to make stops that Ole Miss did not. So, big day for Mike Bobo, big day for the Georgia offense. Gunnar Stockton, big day for the tight ends. Elias Williams was also out there making plays. Zachariah Branch is still really good. Colby Young got banged up early in the game. We did not see him return. I think that's an ankle. They've got a bye week now, so they've got 2 weeks to try to get him healthy. Christian Miller got banged up. He came back in. Monroe Freeling got banged up. I think he came back in. But overall, Georgia fights back, and they win a thriller. Another come-from-behind victory. Massive, massive win here in Athens for the Georgia Bulldogs and Gunnar Stockton. They beat number 5 Ole Miss in a crazy, wild game, 43-35 shootout here in Athens. The Dogs win. They still have everything in front of them. They've got a bye week before they take on the Gators. Then it's Mississippi State, then Texas, then Charlotte, then a good Georgia Tech team. We'll see how the second half of the season unfolds. I expect it to be a crazy one, just like this first half was. But the Dogs go into their second bye week with a big-time win over Ole Miss. And now the second half of the season kicks off in Jacksonville in a couple weeks. But big win for the Dogs, 43-35 final score here in Athens over number 5 Ole Miss. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're reading thoughts from the box over on dogpost.com, and I'll see you over on the website.